Right, we'll try again. Welcome to about version 5 of this video. And you know when you have days where you know what you want to say, and maybe what happens is you just can't find the words to say it. A little bit like that today, actually. And probably thinking about it too much, and I just need to get back into my heart space and let the words flow from there rather than from the old, the first brain at the second brain. Do more of the feeling rather than the thinking. Anyway, day 34 of 120 days of integration or reintegration with myself. There you go. So today's mental contemplation and reflection has been on about being people-centric. Now, people-centric, I think, gets confused with people-pleasing. And there's a lot of people in life that are people-centric, and they're told, misappropriately told that they're actually people-pleasers, and they're not. Someone that's people-centric very much focuses on having good boundaries, on having that ability to say no. But being people-centric also means that at times a lot of the time, your primary focus is on kindness. And sometimes, there's huge value in just going out of your way for other people without an expectation of getting anything back from it. And it's that simple pretext of kindness, and I feel that it is something that we struggle with in society. More and more kindness is put aside because of people's expectations around, well, if I'm going to do something for you, you need to do something for me. And from my perspective, a huge part of my spiritual journey, a huge part of my, I don't want to say fucking awakening because it sounds so corny, right? But a huge part of my awareness and the growing of my awareness has come through the process of serving others. And I think it's a key part of the spiritual journey. But because you stop thinking about yourself, you stop thinking about, what can I get if I do that for them? And it's just about, stepping forward and stepping up and showing kindness and compassion to other people. I always talk about being a way shower. Whenever I think about, who I am in my journey, I think of the hermit, the guy with, he's got a staff in one hand and a lantern in the other, and it's that whole thing around shining the light. And I think I shine the light in a number of different ways. One is that I support people to see the world in a different way. Sometimes when you're immersed in something or you're in a situation, you can't see, the forest from the trees, a classic old saying. And so sometimes, just sitting down with someone and talking to them and showing them that there is actually other ways of seeing the world and there's other parts of the world. Another way is around holding space. And I do this, sometimes when I'm doing my healing work, what I actually do is I just create a resonant vibration that holds space for people. And by holding that space, it allows them to bring, their higher self and their connective energy through. And so they're doing their own healing rather than, getting anything that's being, transmitted through me, from me, through me, of course. But I think more and more, we're becoming individualized. More and more we're moving away from community, we're moving away from whānau, we're moving away from family. And I think it's a cyclic experience. I know for me it has been a cyclic experience where I needed to, experience that individualization in order to create, by creating my wholeness and my connection, it has then allowed me to, create wholeness and connections with others. And when I talk about, family, I guess I'm talking about spirit family. We have our blood family, and as lovely and as beautiful as they are, also, sometimes I'm blessed with my whānau. There's also your spirit family. And it's those ones that, the universe sends you. And it's quite interesting because a lot of times the universe, the people that you really learn from and the people that will really shine those lights for you, they're not the nice people like me. They're the real shitty people that you don't want to, you don't want to interact with and you roll your fucking eyes about and that sort of thing. Whether that's in your professional environment or, whether it's, education or, extended family or in-laws. But they're there to teach you, as well. All experience, everything that happens in our life is about teaching, is about learning. And a lot of times, it's just having that ability to stop and just take a little step back and reflect and say, what am I learning here? What's my lesson? Because what happens, the universe will just put it, if you miss that lesson, the universe will just keep putting it in front of you, keep putting it in front of you. And it's like, what? Then you get that cycle and you're thinking, what the fuck's going on? And sometimes it can become generational. But then you have the powerful experience where you break that, that multi-generational cycle. You break those patterns. And that's when you carve a new road. And you carve a new road mentally, you carve a new road spiritually. And you carve a new road in your journey. And it's because you're seeing things and experiencing things differently. And again, that comes from the fact that you're no longer wondering or worrying about what you're going to get out of a situation. And you're just there with the intention of, sharing kindness and compassion and connection with other people. What I will say is I don't always get it right. And there's people out there that fucking don't like me because of what I've done and how I've treated them. And I'm genuinely sorry for that. I'm not perfect, far from it, far from it. But the big shift is that the intention's changed. Anyway, there we go. Bit of a rant. Nearly an 8-minute rant. Much love and blessings, whānau. Enjoy the day.